Hi, here's a simple guide to register a business in the Philippines for corporations. There are three types of company structure in the Philippines. Let's discuss them first before we proceed with the procedural part of registering a business or a corporation in the Philippines. The first one is a sole proprietorship. Well, from the word itself, sole means it's owned by a single person. Sole proprietorship. It's easier to register in the Philippines, and I already have a video as well on how to register uh, a sole proprietorship business with DTI, and as well as how to get a business permit or MERS permit for sole proprietorship. But the system is almost just the same. So the only difference is that with the SEC, with the corporations, you get the name from SEC. And there are a lot of paperwork to do compared to sole proprietorship. For partnerships, another type of a corporation, a company or business in the Philippines where a group of more than two comes together to put up a business, and they also still register it with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And then, but our topic about corporation. Okay, so what are the different types of corporations? So there are two actually types, corporation and the OPC or one person corporation. The regular corporation is the one that has a requirement of at least 5 incorporators, right, to register a regular corporation. While one person corporation is the one that can be registered with just one incorporator, a solo incorporator or owner with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So a corporation is a legal entity separate and distinct from its incorporators. It has a life of its own. Some refer to it as a legal person because it enjoys the rights and responsibilities that individuals possesses. Like it can enter into a contract, it can take out loans, it can borrow money, it can sue and be sued, it can hire employees, it can own assets and pay taxes. So what are the advantages of a corporation? Bakit corporation ang preferred ng iba na itatayo? First, limited liability ang meron sa corporation as far as the incorporators are concerned. Whether it's a single corporation or a regular corporation with at least 5 incorporators. When we say limited liability, it means that whatever accountabilities that the corporation may incur to creditors, the corporation itself will be solely liable, not to the extent of the personal assets of the incorporators. Meaning that if a corporation borrows money from the bank, for example, and cannot pay, and it is dissolved, the bank cannot run after the personal properties of the incorporators. It can only seize the properties of the corporation itself, but not to the extent of the personal assets and properties of the incorporators thereof. Unlimited life for the regular corporation with at least 5 incorporators. The lifespan is 50 years, and which is renewable, so unlimited life. Now, transferability of ownership with corporations, it's easier to transfer ownership by means of stock shares. It's easier to also increase capital because it's easier to sell shares of stocks. Some of the investors as well would prefer to invest in a corporation because they feel that it's more secure, especially if its incorporators' credibility is good in the industry. So it is who's going to run the company, the corporation, who are the incorporators that normally counts most in getting investors to invest in corporations. So it's easier to increase capital shares in a corporation than if you're just a sole proprietor. Okay, these are the disadvantages of corporations. It's more expensive to establish because of the so many paperwork to do. It's more complicated to establish because first you need to get a name and verify it with SEC and Securities and Exchange Commission, and you have to of course make a deposit of the paid up capital as one of the requirements. It is highly regulated. As a matter of fact, you need to submit reports, corporate reports annually to Securities and Exchange Commission. Limited liability may also discourage creditors. Yung pagiging limited yung liability ng incorporators, it may also serve as a discouragement for creditors na magpautang sa corporation. Kasi nga, alam nila if corporations will go bankrupt, they can only run after the assets of the corporation, not the assets of its incorporators. Ay medyo napakaraming requirements ang hinihingi ng mga creditors for corporations para pautangin or para bigyan ng stock. So there's also potential for double taxation here with corporations. Very difficult to dissolve. Well, take it from my own personal experience. To dissolve a corporation is much 1,000 times more difficult than putting up a corporation. It is very difficult because, for one, you have to comply with a lot of requirements. Like, for example, you need to submit or to surrender all the receipts. You have to open your book for the BIR. These are the required steps to put up a corporation in the Philippines. Make a name reservation with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the verification. Now, there are two ways you can do it. One is you go to the main office of the Securities and Exchange Commission, or you can do it online. Now, for the online application of names and verifications, I can walk you through the process. Next is submission of requirements, then releasing of certificate of incorporations. Once the certificate of incorporation is already released, you can go to barangay where your office or corporation is located to get clearance. Now, after getting a clearance, you need to get a business or mayor's permit already. Now, for the process of getting a clearance and business permit registration or mayor's permit processing, I have a separate video on this already. So you can just subscribe to this channel and look for these videos for you to be guided on the step-by-step process on getting a business or mayor's permit. Now, after you get your mayor's permit and business permit, you process your BIR. You register your company to BIR, and then after that, it's mandatory for corporations to register with SSSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth for its employees. Okay. Let's try to make a name reservation and verification with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay, so I'll try to walk you through the process. Just go to sec.gov.ph. You will be prompted to this page, and then here you just click the https //crs.sec.gov.ph. Then you click that, and then you will be prompted here. This is a CRS or company registration system for company name reservation and verification. Alright, so if you have no account yet, you need to sign up. Okay, when you sign up, you will be required to fill out this form. Okay, so you have your name, your barangay, your city, your postal code, your telephone number, your mobile number, and your TIN, and then your company name. If you already have one at the moment, none, then just leave it blank. And then once you are already signed up, you log in. Okay, so in my case, I already have an account, so I just click the login button, and then I will be directed to this page. All you have to do is click this. Okay, this is the button here. Since you are to register a new company, you just need to click that one, and these are the terms and conditions, and you need to accept that for you to be able to initiate the name reservation. And so you can type in the name already, type of business or of the company. So what type of business are you planning to go into with the corporations that you're putting up, and this is company classification. So like, for example, if it's a stock corporation, stock corporation, which is the common one. And then what classification? Is it a domestic corporation with 0% ownership, all Filipino, or foreign equity? So here we click that one. Okay, if it's a lending, you click this one. There are going to be different set of requirements for lending companies. Then what industry, what subclass, and then your proposed name. And if you want to apply for a trade name, then you click this as well. Okay, so that's how to register and to reserve and to verify a company name with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Alright, next is submission of requirements for SEC registration. Primary requirements for registration: bank certificate of deposit or paid up capital, then your name, reservation, and payment form, and then you go your notarized articles of incorporations and bylaws, and then your treasurer's affidavit. Okay. Next, all applications and supporting documents must be in 4 copies and in A4 size bond paper with a cover sheets. Documents signed abroad must be authenticated by the Philippine Embassy or Consulate in the country where it is signed. Audited financial statement and special audit reports must be certified by an independent certified public accountant. And then tax at the TIN of the incorporator. So if under regular corporations with at least 5 incorporators, dapat lahat ng 5 incorporators should have TIN number.